What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Muscle Hustle podcast. I'm your girl, Cokes. And look, I need y'all to make sure to subscribe on YouTube. It's the Muscle Hustle podcast on YouTube. If you're good with the audios, I'm on all social media platforms. We got Spotify, we have Apple, we have iHeartRadio, we have Castbox. I just found out Amazon got their own podcast thing going on too. I'm on that too. Make sure to subscribe, the Muscle Hustle podcast on all platforms. I got my mans here with me, Mr. AKA The Lab, AKA BKA, Mr. Poole, also known as Alex Poole. What else? AP?
AP, yeah.
That's the main thing that you go by?
Yeah,
okay,
AP,
all right. What's good, man?
I'm good. How you
How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for coming.
I appreciate the invite.
So, I'm just going to jump right into it.
Let's get it.
Where are you from?
I'm from Florida. So I'm from Ocala, Florida.
Really?
Small town, Central Florida, country. I'm a country boy.
Ocala, yes. Yeah, I remember when I was living in Tampa, I used to see it.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, okay. So you was in Tampa.
Yeah, unfortunately. Okay, all right. Born and raised?
Born and raised.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before we even go any further, go ahead and introduce yourself.
So Alex Poole, born and raised Ocala, Florida. I've been living in Houston for 10 years now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 10 years now. I've been here for a minute. Got out here grad school.
Okay.
That's what brought me out here.
What school did you
So I got my master's from TSU.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, shout out to the Tigers.
Hey,
I'm just saying. Yeah, so I've been
the sound folks even throwing up the hands.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm just saying. Hey. So, I've been here for 10 years, like I said. I've been in fitness for 12 years.
12
probably.
years.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Okay.
I starting in college.
That's what's up. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go on back. Florida boy.
Yeah.
All right. Born and raised, Ocala.
Born and raised.
Okay. You ever venture out?
Yeah. So scholarship to UConn.
Okay.
So I was out
You
there.
went up top.
Yeah. We had to get away. So
Yeah,
chose the snow. I chose the snow.
Connecticut though.
Yeah.
Okay,
Chose
right.
the snow. And I was out there for a couple of years. I ended up transferring out, and that's what brought me to Texas. I actually finished my last couple of years in Tyler at Texas College.
Okay.
So I finished, that was my first HBCU experience. Yeah, so I finished out there.
Okay. Now, what sport did you play?
Football.
Football. Okay.
Yeah, football.
All right. What position?
Football. I was safety.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was a safety. I ran track too. When I was all right.
Yeah,
I won state a couple times.
Stick with football. It's like,
state champion a couple times.
Okay, whatever.
Nothing crazy. But
UConn?
yeah.
Okay.
No. So in the state of Florida, I was a hurdler.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I won state. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
junior, senior
Cool,
year.
boys.
But
Okay.
yeah,
That's
but,
what's up.
yeah.
Okay. And then from UConn, you went ahead and came down to Tyler.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it because of your experience at Tyler that you decided to transfer to another HBCU school?
Yes.
Okay.
So I actually got accepted into the grad school program at SMU.
Okay.
I didn't realize how expensive it was being a private university. But just that whole HBCU feel, I wanted to keep that. So I got into SMU, and then I applied to U of H, but I was late on the registration part.
Gotcha.
And TSU's was still open, and I was already comfortable with, just being in the HBCU atmosphere. So that's kind of what got me here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you played football back in UConn, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And when you came to Tyler and TSU, did you still play?
I still played at TC. Yes, I
Okay.
still played at Texas College. I had a solid career there too. But it kind of my goal shifted when I got there.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Explain that.
well, before, being younger, we all want to go to the league.
Right.
We all want to
I
get
was gonna
there.
ask you that.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah.
So for me, being at a bigger university, it kind of took my passion. It became more work-like.
Talking UConn.
Yeah.
Okay.
It became more work-like and like more of a business as opposed to just a game. So it kind of, drained my passion. I really didn't want to play anymore.
Yeah.
I just wanted to, I would be envious of just regular students.
Really?
Man, I just wish I could just go to class and go back to
Chill
my
out
dorm
and
and
get
chill.
school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, when I left, I wasn't gonna play. And one of my my GA coaches actually got a job out there, and
Okay.
he brought me out there.
I see.
And yeah, so I ended up playing for him, but my whole goal was I just want to finish school and like, figure out the next steps in my life.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Brings us. Always, not everybody want to be in the league, but
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? You start out with that aspiration, but then you move on. So
Man, it's all right. It's all right.
all right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hell, I wanted to do the Olympics. All right. Shit happens. But okay. All right. Any siblings?
Yeah, I have 2 brothers and 1 sister.
Okay. They back in Florida?
Yeah, they're back in Florida.
Okay.
Yeah, my big brother's in Georgia, but my
Okay.
other 2 are in Florida.
They ever try to convince you to come back or go to Florida or probably move to Georgia?
Nah.
Nope.
Nah, they know me. I'm the middle child.
Are you? Okay.
Yeah, so I'm the independent one. So
Gotcha.
I marched till I beat them my own drum.
Right.
Yeah.
So what made you stay in Houston after school? School's over,
so what
now
made me
what?
it's crazy. What made me stay was I just enjoyed hanging out in Houston.
Really?
Yeah, like it was just like from the nightlife to like just the friends that I made here.
Yeah.
Like I only knew one person when I got here.
Okay.
So, just the relationships that I established and stuff like that, Houston started to feel more like home.
Like home?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because a lot of people are just like, okay, you see a lot of people who move into Houston. Obviously, we're not Houstonians. Well, now you can consider yourself that. But you got a lot of folks that are planted in, you know what I mean? And so folks are always so quick to be like, okay, well, why not go back? You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's kind of hard to articulate because it's like, it's just a vibe. You just got to be here to feel it. And then,
I think for me, the biggest thing that I tell people when they ask me why when I go back home, money back home.
it really is.
Like, like that's like if we keeping it a buck, like, nah, like just financially, there's, more opportunities here to do it as far as the career path that I took.
But you still got Tampa, you still got Orlando,
yeah, for sure.
You still got Miami.
For sure. And for me, even with those, right, the first 2 that you said, Tampa and Orlando, is still too close to home for me.
True.
It's like the country is right down the street,
facts.
basically. So that was kind of out of the question. And then Miami was just a no for me. Yeah.
So I mean, how important is family? Because I mean, your mom, your parents and stuff like that, they're still in Florida as well too, right?
Yeah.
As far as support for you throughout your career thus far. You know what I'm saying? How close were you to your family?
So I'm really close to my family, but I'm like I said, I'm the more independent one. Yeah. Okay. So like they always trust that I'm taking care of business because I've always taken care of my business. And just even when I decided to go into business for myself, being nervous to tell my mom about it, and then when I do tell her, her direct quote was, I mean, you're your father's son. And because my dad, is in business on his own. So like, so I just thought that, that would be a whole deal. Like, I don't know what she'll think about it.
Yeah.
But so, I mean, they've always supported me.
And your siblings as well too.
Yeah.
How, as far as like their support as well too, and just kind of like the drive and not so much as a drive, but like the encouragement and stuff like that. Do you get that from your siblings?
Especially my little brother. My little brother's my best friend.
Okay.
We're 2 years apart, so we're super close.
About my little brother.
Yeah, we super close. So, he I inspired him to start his own business.
Okay.
And he's been successful at that as well. So, we've always
also in fitness or
no. Yeah. So he's landscaping stuff.
Okay.
So we've leaned on each other our whole lives. So, my sister, obviously she's the oldest.
Yeah.
But like, me and my little brother, just because of our age, like we're so close in age. Yeah. Like, we've always leaned on each other.
That's what's up. That is what's up.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got your sports background, football.
Mhm.
Any other sports you played?
Just track.
Just track.
Yeah, track.
How good are you?
I won state a couple times in high school, 300-meter hurdles. I was all right.
But your focus was mainly football.
Yeah, football. I just ran track. To supplement football.
Gotcha. It's almost like season things.
Yeah.
Right, gotcha. All right, cool. So in transitioning from collegiate sports, high school collegiate sports, right, into the fitness industry, how did that come about?
So for me, it started in college.
Okay.
We're
talking
UConn. I was 169 when I got to college. I was small, fast, but I always just thought I was genetically predisposed to just be on the smaller end. It's like I'll just be faster than everybody else. And my first year there, I gained 20 pounds, but I got faster. I got more explosive. And I was actually a poli-sci major when I first got to school.
Really?
So I wanted to be an attorney. And when I saw how my body changed and like, but what it could also do, I get into this phase where I get stuck on something and I want to know the why.
Why? Yeah.
And I wanted to know why. And I would go to my strength coach and like I would like ask him, like, man, how you do that? Like what? Yeah, like I wanted to know. I wanted to learn, and I changed my major. I changed my major because I wanted to learn and I wanted to be able to like.
What year was that when you?
This was my freshman year.
Really?
Yeah. Like, well, after my freshman year, I decided to change it. Yeah, and like I wanted to like.
That's honestly a blessing because a lot of people pretty much wait till like third.
Exactly, and that was my thing. Is like I wanted to really learn about, enhancing the body on a scientific level of like how do you do this? Like the why behind everything. So I just really got like enamored by that. So like my whole career path changed.
And the coaches were actually receptive to like teaching you and stuff like
absolutely,
that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, my strength coach, like, because I mean, in that business, it's a very lucrative business, especially at the collegiate level.
Yeah.
So I mean, he was, no problems telling me about it and the path that he took. So I really wanted to learn it. And when he told me how much he made at the time, even those years ago, I was like, dang, that's a lot of money. Like, okay, I didn't know that you can make money like this. Like, yeah. So I really wanted to understand and learn it. And we joke that I'm a nerd. I'm an athletic nerd. Like I really like.
Don't worry.
Yeah, so like I really wanted to understand it on a deeper level. So like, after I got my, my bachelor's in exercise science, I did my master's in human performance. And then I did, 2 years of my PhD in kinesiology.
Nice.
So it was like I really wanted to learn it on a different level.
So why not getting into, because they got biomechanics as well too.
Yeah.
You ever thought of that?
So I've studied biomechanics.
Okay.
I've studied biomechanics. And I actually took David Alexander's course, his biomechanics course.
Okay.
He runs DBC
in
Miami. So I took his course. So, I got my certification from him in in their biomechanics. But I didn't, I wanted to still deal with athletes.
Okay.
I wanted to still deal with people.
I feel you. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? As opposed to being in the lab and having somebody hooked up to get their VO2 and all this stuff. I wanted to really be in the trenches with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Any regrets in switching your major thus far?
No.
No? All right. You think this was a good path thus far?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so now, switched your major, then got a little bit of experience training wise, right? How did that come about? Like
I was
a
junior because I was a junior in college. I was my junior year, and this was when I was in Tyler, and I would always be in the gym working out, and some of the girls at school would ask me to train them, like, "Oh, AP, you train us."
Can you train?
Yeah, you always be in the gym. We always see you in the gym. You need to train us, and I'm like, "All right, yeah, come through." I didn't know what I was doing. I was giving what I'm doing, just make up some workouts or whatever. So that's where it started.
Okay.
That's where it started, and I did that my junior and senior year in college, and still was trying to learn more and more about it. Until, once I got to grad school, then it went to that next level of, I was a GA strength and conditioning coach at TSU.
Okay.
So I had women's volleyball.
Okay.
And women's volleyball didn't have a strength coach at all. So I was their strength coach.
That's actually kind of common.
Yeah. So I was their strength coach, and I knew nothing about volleyball. Nothing. And, it was the first time I actually had to sit and watch a sport, because I told myself, if I'm going to do this, I need to respect what they do.
Yeah.
So, I would go to the games, I would go to practices, and I would watch how they move, and, coming up with, okay, this movement right here, or we'll enhance this, or this right here, never, you'll never get away from the meat and potatoes of getting someone better squats, hinges,
right.
clean, stuff like that. But to really like give them a program specifically for their
them.
sport.
Yep.
And you know, that helped me out immensely, because this was 2013, fall of 2013. That was the first year that they went to they made it to the SWAC championship, and they won their division since 1994.
Wow.
And Coach Adams at the time, she was the head coach, like credited a lot of that to me because of them being developed physically.
Look at that.
And that was just like, that's when I kind of knew, like, okay, like this is a lane that I can get in.
Yeah.
And yeah, like we at the time at TSU, we didn't have a strength coach at all, like a head strength guy at all. Like,
okay.
yeah, he ended up leaving like before I got there. So they had no like head strength and conditioning coach. And Coach Adams had recommended me for the job. I was, 23, 24, and recommended me for the job. And I remember him telling me, the AD at the time telling me that I was too young. And I remember saying to myself, but I wasn't too young to train them for free. Like, I was entrusted to do that for free, but like I'm too young to have this position now. And it's kind of when, like I said, this is like when my journey started. Like when I went off and took an internship, took an unpaid.
So you didn't get the job?
No, didn't get the job. So I ended up leaving. Like, well, I ended up getting my master's, but like I ended up like not staying on after that third season. Well, after that third season, because I was there for 2 seasons. So after that second season, I ended up not staying.
Okay.
And taking an unpaid internship. So I was teaching to supplement income. I was a teacher.
Like a substitute teacher?
No, I was a special education teacher.
All right.
Yeah. So what I would do with that is I would just save my money. Like I didn't really have any student loans like that.
Okay.
And I was subbing, but then I was doing this unpaid internship at this place called Dynamic Sports Training.
Okay.
And they're still open. They're on the north side. They get a lot of professional baseball players. That's what they're known for.
Okay.
And but because of my experience and how experienced I was, and like Lee's actually the head strength conditioning guy for the Angels, the Major League Base Anaheim Angels.
Right. Okay.
So he's the head strength and conditioning guy for them, but he owns DST.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So he was.
Correlation. Okay.
Yeah. So he actually. I got there the year he got the job. So he was still here in Houston, and I remember him. I'm giving him my background and stuff like that. So he knew that I knew my stuff. Like, so he's like, okay, yeah, we're gonna put you with the pro baseball guys. So that was my I had Major League Baseball players, like 9 Astros. I had guy on the Rockies, Red Sox, Diamondbacks, like Giants, like developing them, and that's where I met Alex Bregman.
Okay.
So Bregman was number 2 for the Astros, one of my closest friends.
Nice.
That's how he became my friend, was through me training him. Yeah. Okay. And continue to train him.
Look at that.
Yeah. So it's like, for me, it's like we was talking off camera, like I'm low key. Yeah. Like I don't really post, like that type of stuff, because the proof is in the work, and like it's all about word of mouth.
There's no need. It's going to exude out regardless. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to boast about it. Yeah. But those that are, honestly, it's not so much as being humble, in my opinion. It's just a matter of knowing your ish. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I know it. I don't need to talk about it. My work speaks for itself. Yeah. And you will know.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, yeah. So basically, you don't really necessarily have to boast, because your expertise, your work speaks for itself. Yeah. For the most part. Okay. Any difficulties as far as having to deal with your, not so much as clientele, but like, maybe friendships, maybe other people trying to be put on because of what they see you getting into now? Do you get what I'm saying? So for the most part, like, okay, clearly, even if you're not boasted about it, right? Those that are in your circle, or those that are in these somewhat, whether they're arm distance or not, they see you moving. Yeah. Right? The leeches is what I'm talking about.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
So
they see you moving, they see who you dealing with now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether they were doubtful before, they see you now, the way that you're moving. Did you ever have to deal with them, and how did you deal with that?
I thankfully, the circle that I have isn't like that.
You lucky.
For me, and the reason why it's not like that was because my circle wasn't really created until I went into business on my own.
Okay.
So some of my closest friends are my clients.
Mm.
They started out as my clients.
Mm.
So
Okay.
the respect was already there for
Gotcha.
the type of work that I do in my business. Like, they had no problem paying me, because they're paying me for a service, but like, it evolved into, close friendships.
Yeah.
And like, these were people that are super successful in their field.
Right.
So
The main thing is they had already
yeah,
respected you.
they had
from the
already
jump, so
respected
they
me.
moved
Yeah.
things up. Gotcha.
And it's like them, like, just constantly like motivating me, and it's because I would strive to like, man, I want to be at your level. And, and in turn, them affirming me, well, my boy Trey, he's a partner at a law firm here, and he works a lot with, he started his own company called the Lockerverse. So they do a lot of, they're in the NIL space.
Okay.
So, they have, like CJ Stroud is a client of theirs who's probably going to go in the top 2 picks in the draft.
Yes.
But, me and Trey could not talk for 2 months, and he'll call me out the blue and be like, hey, I'm proud of you. I just want you to know that, like,
Keep
I
going.
see, yeah. And, it's
Even
like,
if you're not talking, I'm still
yeah,
watching.
yeah. And that's the biggest thing, whether it's my girl, and her support for me and stuff like that or whatever. So I'm fortunate enough to have that. Now I've experienced not necessarily leeches, but like, just sometimes you will come across a couple people with bad intentions as far as like, maybe using you to prop themselves up into position so they could get ahead or they can get over them. But, thankfully I've been around enough solid people to know, okay, yeah, I got to get rid of that.
Okay.
Like,
they usually just kind of like die off, or that die off. I probably shouldn't use that term. But like fall off in a sense where they kind of just like disappear, or in a sense where it's just like you end up having to check them and
yeah,
be like, hey, I see
announce
what
it.
you about.
Yeah,
Like, you gotta go.
Yeah, you gotta go.
Okay.
And
you ever fired a client?
Oh, of course. Yes. Of course. It's not one of my favorite things to do, but I don't mind doing it.
Is it mainly because of energy?
The energy.
Yeah.
Energy. That's the number one thing, is the energy. If I feel bad or like feel a way about you coming into my space, then I don't need to be training you. It's all about energy. And I'm thankful, and I've said this to my trainers, that I'm blessed to be in a position to where I can do that. And not have to worry about the financial impact.
Yeah.
Of like, and that's the advice I tell them, is like, if it doesn't feel right and it's costing you your peace, then it's not worth the money.
It's not worth it. Yeah.
It's not worth the money at all. So yeah, I've definitely had to fire some clients. Not a lot, but yeah.
So let's jump into the lab.
Yeah.
All right. First off, congrats.
I appreciate
Okay.
it. Appreciate it.
Second of all, how did you come up with the name?
That's easy. So I used to be called, my first gym was called AP Performance.
Okay.
And everybody thought like the AP was my name. And I was like, nah, it's not.
Oh.
Yeah, the AP and AP Performance, when I had it, I always would tell my my athletes and my clients, like, listen, you have to like, I'm really big on explaining like the why with like certain movements, how it helps you. And like what muscle group and stuff like that is focused on, what we're looking for with that. And with my athletes, I always like to go back to like how it helps them in their respective sport.
The same way that you obviously try
exactly.
to figure out. Gotcha.
So it's like, this is why we do this. And it's like, when you know the why behind something, you do it with purpose. So I always tell them, like, train with a purpose, train with a purpose. So AP Performance is really a purpose performance. And, when I would, my Instagram, it says train with AP.
Yeah.
It's not really me. It's train with a purpose.
Because I Googled it.
Yeah. And it's AP.
Okay.
So that was where it came from. But then within AP Performance, when I would call my clients and stuff like that and my homies, I'd be like, yo, man, when you coming to the lab, man, we gonna get this work or what? We would just always call it the lab.
The lab. Okay.
We always call it the lab. Like, you coming in the lab, man, come get this work. So then when, I decided, to get the warehouse space, it was just natural. Like, we're just gonna call it the lab.
Gotcha.
Like,
and how long you been in business now?
Ooh, so I've been in business. I've owned a gym for going on 6 years. It'll be 6 years next month. I've had the lab's current location for over a year now. Um, we did a short term lease over there, with the mindset that we were gonna outgrow it.
Outgrow it, yeah.
Yeah.
And have you outgrown it?
Yes, for what I want to do. For
Okay.
what I want to do with it.
Okay.
With where I want to direct this next phase of like the evolution of who I am as a trainer, as a performance coach, as a strength and conditioning coach. Yes, it's been outgrown from this iteration.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, as far as the lab and training with AP, is it really just more so special? I mean, your niche is basically strength and conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
granted, I know that's your expertise.
Yeah. So my niche is strength and conditioning. You know, it's performance, athletic performance. But I always tell people I stay away from the mainstream sports.
Okay.
So I don't train football players.
Why is that?
You know, it's an oversaturated market.
Mm.
You know, Texas is, football is king here.
Mhm.
So there's a football trainer, performance coach for everything. And
But let's say that, folks obviously know your work.
yeah,
They study you. You know
Still
what I'm
wouldn't.
saying? Really?
wouldn't.
You turn them down?
Yeah, I'll turn it down.
Oh,
I've
wow.
turned down football players before. Just because I know the ego that goes with football.
Mm.
I knew, I was one. So I know the ego that goes with that, and I know sometimes the microwave results that they may want, or Instagram is crazy, so they see a lot of movements and a lot of drills and stuff like that, and it looks cool,
Yeah.
On social media, but not knowing that it really doesn't help you, or it's done at the wrong time, and I much rather take my other sports, volleyball mainly, and be able to mold and create them, right? Because there's no I seen this on Instagram, can we do this? They're pieces of clay, and I mold them up, and then they're machines.
Mm.
They're machines. My niche is female athletes,
Okay.
all sports, and then my other sports, my I'm starting to get some hockey players that are starting to come in.
Ooh,
And yeah, you get the lacrosse kids, and you're starting to get some some soccer kids that are about to come. But then I got some tennis. I've had this tennis club that wants to get with me. So it's those sports right there, because they're new to performance training. They're new to strength training.
Yeah.
They didn't realize the importance of it. Yeah. So it was
just like volleyball.
exactly.
Gotcha.
So with volleyball, that's the one thing that I always brag about. When I'm talking my stuff, I'm gonna talk about volleyball, because I can tell people, oh no, I got 72 Division I girls that still come back to train.
Wow.
And I've had some of them since they were 13 years old. And they're sophomores and freshmen, sophomores, juniors in college. And it's they come back to train. When they have a break, if they're on spring break and they're in town, they're coming in the gym. You know what I'm saying? If they're here for Christmas break, they're in the lab. That's the one thing that it stands out from anything else, is it's easy to get those kids, and you train them, and you get a kid, they go off to college, Power 5 stuff, and that's it.
Yep.
And then I come back to you. My thing is they come back. They come back because my whole, and I can call a kid right now and I'll be like, hey, what's our number one rule? And they'll tell you, we don't redshirt. My girls are physically ready to play when they get there. They're physically ready to play the game when they get there.
That's stamp.
I haven't had a kid redshirt. They're physically ready to play the game, because I understand it on a cellular level of how to develop these kids properly. Then we start with the base stuff and we get to the cool looking stuff, but it's all timing. It's all about when we get to it.
Yeah.
You never want those kids to peak too early, but when you're dealing with girls, they understand. That's why I like training female athletes. Yeah, sure. Seriously, I can put them in the room, and I had a trainer that did football players. So when my volleyball girls would come in, my volleyball girls would run circles around them, because they would see the intensity that they train. Boys have been there with their shirts off, yo, man, listen. I was like, these are Power 5 girls. They don't care. And they're 6'3". They don't care. They're machines, And that was my biggest thing. You know, I've been able to have two that were in high school that were number one in the nation. One this past season, Skylar, she's at USC now, was All-American, consensus All-American. So like that's been my lane.
That's
So yeah, and like I kind of like you said, somebody hit you up and request you, but it's like, nah, I know my lane.
You know your lane. Yeah.
I know my lane, and I know how successful that's been to me. So
and you stick with it. The fact that you don't break as well too. You're quick to turn down, what I'm saying, athletes as well too. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of just like, listen, this is my specialty, this is my expertise, and I'm gonna stick with it.
Yeah.
That also shows that you're not in it for the money, clearly. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, but that's the thing too. That's the other side of it. It's not necessarily not being in it for the money, because I'm not, but I have the quantity of athletes that the money's good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you just have to think about it. Like, that niche doesn't mean that it just limits you on population size.
I think that's the reason why you have a lot of trainers, or even business aspects, on the business aspect as well too. They're so quick to be like, okay, well, I'm gonna pick a vague industry and then basically put myself in a situation where it's just like, okay, I could do it all. You know what I'm saying? I actually used to be like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, you know what? It's not the fact that I can do it all. I just prefer to focus on.
I'd rather be the master of one. I'd rather be the master of one than I'd rather be excellent at one thing to just be like good or average at, or above average at a lot of things, because that one thing I know I can specialize better than anybody else.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like where I'm at with it. Like I want my space to be, and even with that next iteration of, the space, I want it to be a safe space for my female athletes, that they can come and be developed. Is it just
you at the space? Like,
no. So I have 3 other trainers there.
Okay.
Yeah, I have 3 other trainers there. I have 2 guys and I have 1 girl. So DJ, Bash, and then I have Barbara.
Bash, I know Bash.
Yeah.
Bash from up top.
Yeah.
He's from the DMV area.
Yeah, DMV.
Okay,
Okay. So
that's what's up.
Yeah, so I have them in there. Like Bash is gonna be special. DJ special. Barb is gonna be real special. Barb focuses more on the performance side.
Okay.
Which is rare that you get a woman that wants to develop athletes.
Yeah.
So she's gonna be real special. Bash, obviously, great. Social media instructor, and DJ same. So I feel like I've put together a nice team that I want to see them grow. Like I always tell them, like I'll never like withhold trade secrets from them. Whatever they ask me, I'll tell them, because I want them to be able to grow. I want them to get better. I want them to want to be better than me. But at the same time too, I'll be quick to tell them, yeah, but you're not gonna. Well, because that's the competitive side of me. Yeah. But I was like, but you're gonna be damn good. Like, and that's, I want it to never feel like it's competition. Like, I want everyone to be able to succeed.
So as far as owning the lab, right?
Yeah.
It's solely you, no partner?
Well, so I have a partner on a small level, like my boy Nick.
Okay.
Like that's my, he probably don't like it, but like that's one of my, my silent partners and stuff like that.
Right.
But we've he's been instrumental.
He'll be all right.
Yeah, he's been instrumental in a lot of stuff, man, especially in his field.
Yeah.
To be able to help it grow and stuff like that. But, it's just been me. Like when I first started out,
I asked that because of balancing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like right now, it just seems like it's really just, granted, I understand you said that you were in a relationship as well too, right? Okay. So that strength and conditioning coach, right? Training athletes, being obviously an entrepreneur on all aspects, also a gym owner.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's 3 things, you know what I'm saying, where it's just like that's to juggle in your life. How are you able to balance all of that? You have any kids?
No.
Okay.
2 dogs though. We say we have kids. We got 2 dogs.
Okay.
They just like kids.
Kids.
Yeah. Yeah. So we about to get the 3rd one. But yeah, I know. It's her. But for me, I want to say starting out, that was difficult. I couldn't really maintain a relationship when I first started, because it was just business. So I was focused on business, growing, wanting to make more money, wanting to make a living, wanting to basically break even. And then, as I progressed and got like understood the business more and like I started to take hold of my time, right? And that's the biggest thing is like a business owner is like being able to like have command over your time. You know, like there's certain times now where I'm not gonna train. Like, okay, I'll do a group at this time, a group at this time, a group at this time, a group at this time.
Ain't no way to track.
So it's like, yeah, like this is like these are my only times. Like if you want to get in with me, these are the times.
How hard
and
is
we'll
that
make
to
it
say
work.
no?
It was very hard at first, and like now I don't care. Like I'm like, yo, now these are my times. Like now personal training is different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I have a personal training client, that's different. But I mean that's a premium. Like you gonna pay, to get,
this time.
Yeah, this time. But like as far as like, my small group training and stuff like that, now like it's, the biggest thing for trainers that I could tell them is like set a schedule. Set a schedule and be steadfast in that scheduling. Cause that a client can talk you out of that quick. Like, oh, but I can only come at this time.
Yeah.
And no, you can come at this other time. Like it's an hour later. And that's the biggest thing. Is
that's
like
if you want to train with me.
Yeah. And like you have to approach that with a Hydra mentality. Like I'm a nerd. So like Greek mythology, all this stuff like I be into. Okay. Yeah. So, Hydra is a mythological beast where if you chop the head off, two grow back in its place. So that's how you should attack, clients. If you can't train one or you lose one, just replace them with two or three. So I'm never, upset or sad or feel away. And, in our business, people, trainers feel away when they lose somebody. They be in their feelings. I'm never in my feelings.
Be in their feelings when they see another trainer talking to you.
Yeah, talking to your client. And I am never in my feelings.
Okay. So what I was going to ask you about, because I know I'm going to get, Kiki, don't be mad at me, but I need him to be real steadfast and stamp on this. Okay. Yeah. So married, single, available?
In a relationship.
In a relationship. Yeah. So all y'all, don't be coming in my DMs asking me nothing, nada, okay? Dude already made a stamp. All right, I don't need y'all thirst buckets in my DM asking about nothing, okay? But okay, like I was asking, as far as just the support factor, right? I think I had already mentioned it, but kind of want you to reiterate that a little bit more. Just the support from your significant other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How important is that? Especially in our line of work, you know what I'm saying? And again, like I said, like I'm no gym owner. I know y'all be going through it, you know what I'm saying? And just that is multiple hats that you have to deal with. You know what I'm saying? There is no hours to be worked. It's ongoing. You know what I'm saying? Now granted, like, you make sure like, you make time for what you make time for and stuff like that. How, like, just as far as the support and juggling that.
The support is crucial, especially, when I'm having, if it's a rough day with business, I know I can, if I go to her place, I know like she'll listen, she'll defend me, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes I need to hear that, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes I need to hear the stuff that I'm not going to say at work if it comes to dealing with, maybe I had to let this client go, and then it's like, I didn't like this. Okay, good. I'm glad you said it. Like, but nah, it's just being able to lean on that, and have a level of understanding. Like it wasn't like that at first because the line of work that I'm in.
Yeah.
I mean, you deal with. I deal with a lot of women and stuff like that. So, that was a process and having to understand.
Yeah.
Having to have a level of trust gained and earned. But yeah, like the balance has been very good for me.
That's good.
Yeah, it's been good.
That's good. Shout outs to Kiki. But okay, so in being a business owner, right?
Yeah.
Especially brick and mortar, when I moved out here, like I had every intention, like I had a couple studios up north and stuff like that.
Where are you from?
Running. I'm from Jersey.
Okay. Well, nah, she's from Hell's Kitchen. She's from New York.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, he got it to Hell's Kitchen. Okay. All right. What part of New York?
Well, Manhattan, Kiki. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Bet. So tri-state area.
Yeah.
Couple businesses there for the most part, right? Transitioning out here, I was like, all right, the gym might be in the works. We'll see when I get down there. Emancipation alone has 16 gyms. I said no.
Oh my God.
Out the window.
Yo.
I was like, wait a minute. And I purposely counted. I was like, we're going to start here at the stadium and we're going to drive down this road and I'm going to count. Because clearly Google must be lying.
Yeah.
No. I was like, yo, so that's all the way. That's for the birds. You know what I'm saying? For me. Lucky enough, my homeboy, Ken.
Yeah. It's my guy, Florida boy.
Okay.
Shout out to the crib.
Yeah. So, he was definitely, him and one of my other friends, they were definitely influential in me transitioning out here and not moving back to Florida.
Yeah.
And so obviously I wasn't going to hear the end of it if I didn't go to level 1.
Yeah.
So I go there and like I said, 16 gyms just going to the gym. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, that's crazy. So all that competition going about, you know what I'm saying? Granted, they might all have like their different aspects, their different focuses and stuff like that, but all those competition for the most part.
Yeah.
Different business owners see it differently. Do you necessarily see it as competition?
No.
And this is going to be another segment that I actually want you to be a part of later on. But I mean, do you see it as competition?
No.
No. Okay. Why is that?
Because I have my lane. I stay in my lane. Now, if people follow me on social media, sometimes I even shout my boys out. I'll shout Ken out at level 1. I'll shout, Gerald out at Red Zone. Like, those are my boys. Like, I don't see it as competition. Yeah. Like, I see it as just business owners trying to make a way, trying to better ourselves and grow our brands. I never see it as competition. And I feel like sometimes for those, that see it as it's only competition when maybe the words are reckless about you. You know what I'm saying? Then it's like, okay, say less. But like even in that sense, it's not competition and I'm gonna just take your people. Yeah. Nah, I'm just gonna get more people. And like I'm gonna continue to grow and then you gonna see. But like for me, I wanna see everybody be successful. Yeah. That's why when I was telling you about my trainers, like I tell them, like, if owning your own space is what you want to do, I'm gonna support you. I want you to be able to do it. Yeah. It's funny because like I see him Ken actually does that a lot as well too. You know what I'm saying? Like you see a lot of other entrepreneurs where they just starting out or so, they come to him for advice and he's open and willing. Yeah. However, I've seen the opposite, you know what I'm saying, in some other owners, and I've literally blatantly heard this come out their mouth, just like, I ain't finna help you, you about to be the ops. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, one, my business structure is probably totally different than yours. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. 2, if you're really secure about what it is that you're doing, you shouldn't even worry about what it is. And that should tell you everything you need to know. But it's just funny how people move, and so I just kind of wanted to get your take on that. Yeah. But hey, like you said, you know your lane. I know my lane. I want to see everybody be successful. I want everyone to win, and whatever their definition of winning is, I know what mine is. So like I said, I have a lane that I just stay in. I wish everybody the best. If I lose a client and they go to the next gym, it might be one of my homies' gym. They might go to level 1. Hell yeah, man, that's my boy. We keeping the money in the family then. Yeah. Like that's how I think. See, like just the mentality on that, right? That's growth in itself. You know what I'm saying? And again, that's going to be returned to you in tenfold just because of the fact that you think like that. You know what I mean? Because then that also just kind of proves that you're pouring into others as well. You know what I'm saying? Authentically. You know what I mean? And so all right. Mental check. Where you at? I'm good. Yeah? Yeah, I'm good. Physically, mentally, spiritually. I'm all there. Yeah. I'm all there. I'm at a point of zen right now where I'm in a state of calm. How long did it take you to get to that point of zen? Hey man, therapy. Yeah. Therapy and just, it comes with like an increase in finances and stuff like that because it limits your worries. Still have those stresses. Yeah. I always say, you've heard the saying, for every new level there's a new devil. Yeah. But I'm the one that says I look forward to the new devil. I do. I always do because that means that I've elevated. Like, I remember having $500 problems and then now you're having $15,000 problems. Mm-hmm. And like having to take a step back and thinking, 5 years ago, you couldn't even fathom that. Yeah. Like, so like, it's just being appreciative of where you're at. you know, and knowing like, okay, I'm in this moment. So that's where like that, you know, spiritual, like mental level of like peace comes from. Like I'm always, don't get me wrong, like I'm always going 1,000 miles an hour. I'm always trying to create ways to like get better and like how can I grow the gym? How can I expand it? How can I get better at this?
You ever
You
get
know?
mentally exhausted?
Oh yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
It happens. You hit a wall. Like I mean, I think somebody would be lying to you if they say they didn't, you know, and you know, sometimes that's when I take my time off. You know, I may
Oh,
take 2 days off. Like, yeah, I'm not training. You know, I'll let my trainers know, hey, you know, I got some people coming in this time, you know, and that's my time to like, nah, like I have to recenter myself. Like I
yeah.
have to get centered again. You know, like I just took the most time that I ever took off recently. I took a whole week off. You know, took a whole week off where it was like, nah, like I'm not training, I'm not doing anything.
Wow.
I'm on vacation. Like I'm like not doing anything. And like
Most of the time,
to
48 hours is like,
exactly. So like to be able to take an extended amount of time and still not be afraid that I might lose
you might
something.
lose
Nah,
this and that. Yeah. That's what's up.
like I've created a community where, you know, I know we'll be all right.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
And I sense the zen. I receive it. All right. So what's next? What's next for Mr. A?
Oh man, so we got a couple of business ventures. You know, I'm starting some trucking stuff too.
Okay.
Just you know, that's some extra stuff that I'm doing outside of fitness.
Okay.
You know, working on, like I was telling you, just the next evolution of the lab. So more space. You know, really keeping it close to the vest right now, but it'll be out like sooner rather than later. But got some stuff going on with, you know, with Texans and stuff like that.
Okay.
That's like
Look,
it's
cheesing.
pretty, you know, because like it's like this was, you know, a lot of people don't know.
But I'm
Well, because you know, a lot of people don't know. Like, okay, so like we went over my background, but like not really in depth in it, right? So like, you know, I have a strength conditioning background, obviously.
Right.
But, you know, like, so I have my CSCS through the National Strength Conditioning Association.
Okay.
So, like, you know, my goal was to always, and it's still to this day, like, even with the gym, is to be able to run a program. You know, is to be able to run like an entire program, whether it be professionally, collegiately, you know. So, like,
this is going.
You know, I just have some opportunity, you know, I have an opportunity to be able to put myself in position to
go.
You know, so I'm excited. I'm excited for that. But yeah, just continuing to grow the lab. Continuing to grow the lab is you know, like I said, it's next phase. Well, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. Yeah.
That's what's up. I appreciate you, AP.
Appreciate the invite.
I appreciate the authenticity. I appreciate just the real. I wish you nothing but the best.
Appreciate it.
I am going to be coming through the lab.
Pull up.
Finally,
Pull up.
you know what I'm saying?
Pull up.
Probably be dancing in the camera.
Hey, we got to.
Just funny though, but that's what's up. Go ahead and let them know where to find you.
So yeah, you can find me on social media at Poole Season. That's POOLE_SZN. Also the Lab Gym Official on Instagram. I'm pretty active sometimes, but I'm always responding to the DMs, especially when you talk about training. Nothing else, guys.
Yes,
just training.
Nothing else.
Just training.
That's what's up. Well, I appreciate you once
appreciate
again for coming through. Y'all make sure to tune in for the next episode. Make sure to drop www.themusclehustle podcast for your exclusive merch. Okay. If you was at Ebony Fit, you already know with the vibes. Y'all hounded me for it, so y'all better go ahead and get this click. All right. But yeah, I appreciate y'all, and we out.